Okay, so good morning class 9. Today once again we are here to describe the poem Wind. Yesterday we discussed, today once again we will discuss about the poem The Wind. So here in Wind, let's see, put your finger on the line. Wind, come softly. Wind, come softly, don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. In first stanza, writer is trying to say that the poet is talking. Now here, poet is talking to the wind. He asks the wind to come softly. Okay, so he is saying that the wind should not be very strong, loud. Wind, see, I am talking to you that you should not be so strong, you should not be so violent and loud. It should be soft and subtle. Okay. Then he says that the wind is very powerful and it is destructive. The wind is very powerful and it is destructive. It breaks the shutters of the windows and scatters the paper. When the wind is very powerful, all the books which are kept on the shelf fall down. So here the poet is describing the power of the wind. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it had done. Whenever there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak, like small plants, tiny children, etc., they all get scared and they can even fail, get hurt. We can say that in the initial part of the poem, the poet is referring to wind as a young child. Poet is referring to wind as a young child. He is saying that it should come softly just like a small child does. In the latter part, we come to know that wind is destructive, such like a youth, just like a young boy or a young girl who is full of energy, violence and destruction. So here, poet has tried to compare the wind to this very small child, and for the cool and calmness, as very tenderly to enter into the houses, come to the parents as well as the others. Other side, the youth people are having more energy rather than the small boys, small girls. So here, writer is trying to compare wind to a young boy or a young girl who is full of energy and violence and destruction. So I hope so. The first stanza that we learned is very interesting. Now after that, just put your another line here. Frail crumbling houses, frail crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies and crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. Crumbling means falling, or maybe something is to just something break. Rafter means sloping beam, like this way, rafters and roof of the building, you can say. Here in this stanza, here the word crumbling is repeated so many times to lay stress that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. Here in this stanza, what is happening? The word crumble means break, tutna. So this is being repeated too many times, as because the wind is so strong to break everything. So that's why here in the face of a strong wind, so the writer is saying that when wind is powerful, it is very strong. It leads to breakage of everything. Houses which are very small fall, doors which are very weak fall, The beams on which the roof of the building support, they also fall. All the wooden structure fall, all the bodies of the people fall, animal lives, hearts, everything fall. As because wind is so powerful. You cannot compare any other thing rather than as compared to the strongness, as compared to the destructive power. So the wind is so destructive, so it has power to crumble down the lives, crumble down all the roofs, crumble down all the doors and houses, etc. Buildings will fall as because wind is so powerful. Here he is saying that everything crumbles. Writer is trying to say everything is crumble, everything that is weak reacts to fall down and breaking in the face of adversity. So the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any challenge in life, he breaks down and falls. In this stanza, by using the crumbling down, using the word crumbling down, writer is trying to say that a weak person, when a weak person faces difficulties, challenges in life, he breaks down and falls. Okay? Now let's see the another one. Here, the wind god. Here, the another one is wind god. Wind god, the wind god winnows and crushes them all. A weak person cannot be a friend of a strong one. Exceptionally, something is or someone is not countable. So the wind god winnows and crushes them all. What is the meaning of this here? Winnows, the separating the husk, separating the dust from the grains. This is called blowing, winnowing, Explanation, okay. The poet is describing to wind as God. Here in this line, the wind god winnows and crushes them all. Poet is trying to say that wind is a god. And he is saying that the powerful god of wind winnows. That means he sifts all the people and those people who are weak, fall down and get crushed. So here a comparison is made between wheat and people. Wheat, gehu, wheat and people. Just like winnow to wheat separate the grain from the husk, chaff, the wind god separates the strong people from the weak people. When there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and get crushed. Here, writer is trying to say that wind is a god. Wind is acting here as a god, and God has power. So when the strong wind blows, the weak things just get separated from the strong one. So this is also called the separator. Okay. Now next line, he won't do what you tell him. He won't do what you tell him. This is the character of wind. If you are telling something, if you are trying to suggest something to wind, he won't do what you tell him.